Welcome to the Ringer Fantasy Football Show. My name is Danny Heifetz. I am joined by Danny Kelly and Craig Horlbeck. Week 1 is almost in the books. There's one more game, but for our purposes, week 1's in the books. Basically, we just watched Lions beat the Rams in overtime in week 1, Sunday Night Football. We're going to go through all the games. Craig, do you think Rams-Lions, is this the best non-divisional rivalry in the NFL right now?
It's up there. It might be number one. The Burrow versus Mahomes thing. Did they play last year? I can't remember. Did the Bengals
play like
beat
every year.
The Chiefs last year? I don't think they did. I feel like that was 2 years ago.
It's been a minute.
For my money right now, the Stafford Detroit thing is awesome, and the Goff LA thing, like, because it goes both ways, it's so great. Like the Chiefs Bengals thing is just like Burrow tends to beat the Chiefs and nobody else can. There's so much more personal drama in the Lions Rams thing. That's why I actually love both teams so much. I think they both have awesome vibes, and it sucks that one has to lose. And now poor my sweet Sean McVay has lost twice now in his last 2 games versus the Lions.
Bengals did lose to the Chiefs last New Year's Eve.
Oh, the Bengals lost.
Yeah.
But the Bengals are the only non-Tom Brady team to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, so they just have that.
And remember, Zach Wilson beat the Chiefs that one time.
Well, it's kind of funny that he's just going to be able to dine out on that forever. DK, who do you root for in these matchups? Because I think it is such an interesting thing that now the Lions have beaten the Rams twice this year, but the Rams will always have just won a Super Bowl with Stafford like he was their mistress. They died, they took him out to Cancun and they were cheating with him, and then they arranged the whole trade. But now, like, Goff and the Lions were just like a revenge hookup, and now it's just like a funny, like, weird, awkward. I don't know. I find myself locking in on Goff and McVay meeting at midfield after every one of these games.
Did we see that? Did that happen? I didn't see that as the game ended.
They didn't show it, but I was
hands.
I was looking for it.
First of all, I never root for the Rams ever. I could never do that.
Right.
I'm a Seahawks fan, and they have brought me so much pain in my life.
What if you had Cooper Kupp on your fantasy team and you were down like 15?
I will root for individual players like that.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
What if he needed to catch a touchdown for the Rams to win and also for your fantasy team to win?
By the way, Cooper Kupp looked amazing. Career high catches today. Let that sink in. Career high in catches.
Dude, thank God, because we said he'd be fine. I was a little nervous.
Yeah, and Puka Nacua, our boy, they massacred our boy. He's already hurt, unfortunately.
There can only be one.
I really hope it's not a season ender, but he tried to come back in, and then it was like, no, I can't run, and then he left for the rest of the game. So hopefully that's not like a long-term injury. But the good news is Cooper Kupp looks like his old self. Stafford made some incredible throws. Another no-look throw. These teams are just so fun to watch. There's so many fun players on each of these teams. So this is a great game. Hell of a weekend of football. Really fun matchups too.
Yeah, I felt like this weekend was like the running back weekend. I feel like the passing was way down, super sloppy. Week 1. Yeah. Teams are just handing the ball off and running backs are running wild. The entire overtime drive for the Lions was just David Montgomery for 70 yards, basically.
Craig, and there was two quarterbacks threw for over 300 yards this week. There's one game left. 2 quarterbacks. And then like
10 threw for under 200 yards.
Like a lot. I think the average, I saw someone tweet this, the average was like 185 yards per quarterback this week. Offense stinks again. Damn it.
I feel like we're in a weird thing where offenses in the first week, another memento tattoo we need is that the first week or 2 of the season, passing is so rhythm-based that when these guys don't go out and play in the preseason, we kind of forget that there is a real rust in passing, and that coaches know that. So they really rely on the running game in the first week or 2, and I feel like every year we forget that.
Yeah.
But like last year, I think Mac Jones was the number 2 quarterback in fantasy in the week 2, and Lamar Jackson was like the 30th best quarterback. And then Lamar won the MVP, and Mac Jones was like banished to Jacksonville for his 6th round pick by the end of the year. So
that's why week 1's the best. It's the overreaction week. I think it is the most fun fantasy football week of the year.
It is the best because you forget that some things you've seen season-long trends and you already know everything you need to know about a situation. And then other times you forget it's just one week and random shit happens every week. But this is the one where you don't know what's what. So with that said, we're going to go through a bunch of categories today. And again, if you've been with us for years, wonderful. If you're with us for the first time this season, we're doing these episodes every Sunday. Monday, waivers trivia. Wednesday, power hour. Friday, recap or pre-cap for the weekends. Also, if you know that Monday, emails trivia for waivers at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com. And we're going to be going through categories every Sunday night here. and we're going to do a little thing where email us next Sunday, just letting you know, you can email us your thoughts on the categories, and then future Sundays for the rest of the season. We're going to read people's emails from Sunday on the Sunday show. So you guys can participate. We're going to have a couple we read during the episode.
You got to come with your best takes.
Yeah, we're going to do the same categories every week. So hopefully you'll get to know them, you'll remember them, and then you can email us your ideas for categories, and we're going to insert, I think, 2 every week, kind of like a daily double in Jeopardy. You don't know where it's going to pop up. We're going to pick the best 2 and slot them in during every Sunday show.
So let's just start off the bat here. DK, who won week 1?
I think it's Josh Allen.
Oh,
I think just the maniac way that he plays football, it was like such a refreshing, like, oh yeah, that's the shit. Like I forgot about how fun this is. He just absolutely has no guardrails with the way he plays. You know what I mean? Like he plays like every play is the defining play of the game. And I just love that about him. He scored 4 touchdowns, 2 passing, 2 rushing, 31 fantasy points. I saw this stat. This is pretty amazing. This was his 4th game with multiple passing and rushing touchdowns and tied Steve Young for the most all time that's done that.
Wow.
Steve Young and Josh Allen are the only 2 that have done that multiple times.
Wait,
4 times.
Can I give you one other stat I saw about Josh Allen today? I couldn't believe he's only 10 touchdowns behind Thurman Thomas for the career record for a Buffalo Bill.
What the hell?
What is he, 28?
He's 27, I think. Yeah, something like that. He's young. Yeah, no, I think I totally agree. What you just said, though, about how he plays with every play, you know, they're bringing backyard. I don't know if you never played this, DK, but they used to have the backyard baseball, backyard football, and they're bringing it back. If Josh Allen's not on the cover of backyard football, they screwed up because he plays like a kid still.
Yeah.
In like all the best ways. But like, I mean, I do think that Stafford played great tonight, even though they lost. But I don't think any player in any game all weekend, outside of maybe Lamar, was as important to the team as Josh was today. He somehow threw he had 2 passes in the first 28 minutes of that game, like 2 or 3 throws. And they were down 14 points.
Yep.
And the Bills ended up coming back 34-28.
Yeah. It was either 17-0 or 17-3.
And 17-3.
Yeah. And I remember writing down Bills, and I was like, oh, Josh Allen has to Josh Allen has to be the most Josh Allen-y this year, because it feels like now with Diggs gone, he doesn't have that security blanket Stafford to cut when it's 3rd and 6. And now Josh Allen is like, well, it's 3rd and 6. I'm just going to run it. His second rushing touchdown was fucking crazy. He helicoptered past the goal line.
Craig, this is the I saw a funny meme on Twitter today. It's like, you know the picture of Ralph Wiggum from The Simpsons just diving through the window. It was like, this is from Ben Houselog. He goes, James Cook, hey Josh, we're on the goal line. Do you think I can get the ball? And that's just Josh Allen diving through the window like head first.
Yeah, more so than ever this year. Josh Allen's like, I'm just gonna do it all myself.
Dude, really, we need to make that video of Josh Allen as the Band of Brothers guy who just is like, what if we just run through the occupied town? They're like, you can't. The Nazis are all there. It just runs through the fucking town.
I'll just run fast.
The defenders are so confused. They just don't tackle him.
Oh my God. Craig, who won week 1?
Joe Mixon, man. The Texans beat the Colts 29-27. It was a great game. Mixon led the league in touches. Touched about 33 times today. Mixon was just like, we didn't know, getting older, switching teams, running back. Was kind of going in that middle range for running backs.
Missed the first 10 days of practice for the Texans.
He had an injury, yeah.
Yeah, and he just exploded. He had 170 yards and a touchdown. Looked awesome. Team ran the ball a ton, which the Texans were balanced last year. It looks like they're going to be balanced again this year. Stroud was getting pressured the whole game, and they just kept going back to Mixon, and he kept ripping off great runs. He looks, right now, he looks like a top 10 guy the rest of the season, and this is an immediate, oh shit. Joe Mixon looks the best he's ever looked.
Yeah, I should have ranked him higher. He had 33 touches.
Yeah.
The next closest player on the team was Dameon Pierce with 3. Or sorry, next closest running back. But they absolutely just leaned on him so hard. And Craig, you're right. He looked really explosive. I threw out some stats the other day where it's basically if you look at the last couple of years of his tenure in Cincinnati, he was very average and broken tackles and explosive play rate and all that stuff. Man, he didn't look like it today. He looked really great. He's perfect for the scheme that they run. I saw a stat that was I don't know, 90% of the runs that he had today were outside zone. And that was just like, he just feels that so well. He's so good at it in picking his rushing lanes that maybe this is like the perfect mix of scheme and talent and volume that we're seeing. So, if he can stay healthy, he absolutely could be like a steal in drafts.
I don't want to say you guys are wrong, but my winner is definitely going to be Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott signed a contract for $250 million.
Yeah, he made a lot of money.
$60 million a year for Dak Prescott. That's cool. And then the Cowboys went and throttled the Browns 33-17. Honestly, it wasn't even that close. It was not even. It was a non-competitive game basically throughout. The Browns scored some points.
The Browns had 1 first down in the first half.
Yeah, it was actually non-competitive. But the Browns, the Cowboys just, it has been all doom and gloom about the Cowboys all season, including by me. Like everyone's saying, what about the Cowboys? The directionless. Jerry doesn't know what he's doing. We should put Jerry in the Ocean's 11 vault, including other things I said about Jerry Jones that
his
I won't
kids should
here.
do things to him.
His kids should kill him or whatever I said. I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying I bet they thought about it. And but I feel like if you're a Cowboys fan, you have to be thrilled today because it's like, I don't know how the Cowboys could have played that much better. It's everything you wanted to see from Mike Zimmer on defense, the defensive core. It's like the Browns have Myles Garrett and they were going against, rookie left tackle for the Cowboys. And I was like a little worried about that. Guess what? That was fine. They schemed all around that on offense with Mike McCarthy, but on defense, Micah Parsons was destroying the Browns offensive line every play. The whole defense was incredible. And then on offense, Dak, CD didn't look like he missed a month. I don't know what you wanted to see from Cowboys today that wasn't there.
I didn't want to see Zeke wearing 15. That's not right.
Here's the deal with the players and the numbers. I feel like fans should be able to veto. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
I think if you are
numbers,
I think if you're above a certain age, your number has to be higher than a certain amount. I think if you are a running back and you are north of 27, you got to be in the 20s. That's the rule.
You
can't
don't
be in
get
the teens.
0. You don't get 1.
You can't be teens. You can't be sub 10. You got to be 28. You got to be your age. Maybe you have to be your age.
Or Belichick. Yeah, because Belichick, that's too low. That's like, a quarter of your age. That's too low.
Yeah. Zeke should be wearing 43.
Did you think he looked good today, by the way?
I don't know. Not really. He looked fine.
Maybe it's 15 because that's the miles per hour Zeke can run these days.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
The MPH. Okay. Way more fun. Who lost week 1?
So many choices.
I mean, we were just talking about Joe Mixon, Craig. I think it's the Cincinnati Bengals because.
Yeah.
Weird that you would think that. Yeah.
How about, so it's who lost the week? The Bengals and also everybody in their survivor pools who picked the Bengals.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, this is easy now. Why did people take the Cincinnati Bengals in a survivor pool when T. Higgins was not going to play and Jamar Chase was like I have food poisoning. Yeah. Like, I don't know.
To be honest, it was a tough week. I am in a survivor pool, and I would say 75% of people picked the Bengals, and it was because there were no huge spreads this week. They were the biggest spread of the week. Everything was within 3-4 points, and it actually, when you tried to pick it, I picked the Seahawks over the Broncos, but I was nervous about that. But in general, it wasn't the easiest week. Survivor
that's true because I also just thought Seattle was a better pick because Bo Nix was first, but then they gave up. Dude, I don't know if anyone has this, but like the 2 fucking safeties in the first half for the Seahawks, I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Oh, I have that. All right,
that was insane. Anyway, but I thought the Bengals was pathetic because of all the teams who looked awful today, of which there were a couple other ones, but like only the Bengals actually fancy themselves like a Super Bowl contender, and like to come out and lose 16-10 to New England. I thought it was abominable. And there were like a bunch of I don't know. The Bengals lost 2 fumbles last season. They lost 2 fumbles today.
Dude, they were at home and they lost to the Patriots. They put up 10 points. Burrow had 160 yards. He had 8 fantasy points. It's the 5th worst game of his career.
Cincinnati was the only team with no points at halftime in the entire 1 p.m. window. And I got the stat from Ben Baby at ESPN. The Bengals haven't scored a touchdown in the first half of week 1 since Jamar Chase's first career touchdown 3 years ago.
The Bengals
it does feel like they start slow.
Burrow is 6-8-1 in September in his career.
Because he's always hurt in the preseason.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. DK, who do you have lose?
You know what's wild about how poorly Burrow played? 10 quarterbacks threw for fewer yards than him.
Really? 10?
Yeah.
He threw for 164 yards.
10 starting quarterbacks threw
crazy.
for fewer yards than Joe Burrow today.
Well, Burrow did the same.
What the fuck is going on out there?
Today was messy.
I really think
Jacoby
that a lot of
Brissett
it
threw for 121 yards.
I think a lot of it
won.
is.
We did this last year. I remember we had a lot of jokes about quarterbacks throwing for 110 yards.
So, Burrow threw 21 of 29 passes for 164 yards. Three of Joe Burrow's passes went more than 7 yards downfield of his first 20. 3 of his first 20 went more than 7 yards downfield. Completed 1. Part of that I do think is I think Joe Burrow's wrist and all the stuff is being underreported. I do think generally, though, that there's just not that much confidence from teams in the timing of routes and early in season. They think of it as preseason. I don't know. I mean, look at the Rams tonight. Like, they didn't even go out in preseason. They started like a mess. Craig, who do you think lost week 1?
For fantasy only, generational rookies. Caleb Williams and Marvin Harrison.
Yeah.
It was really tough for those two guys. I don't think this will have anything to do with their long-term careers or anything like that. The Bears actually won. They beat the Titans 24-17 despite having less than 150 yards of offense, which is like insane. Caleb Williams had 90 yards and 0 touchdowns and generally looked quite, a little bit frazzled out there.
He looked terrible. You don't have to sugarcoat it. He looked really, really bad.
He looked frazzled.
Yeah. He was way more inaccurate than I was expecting. I expected rookie struggles. You're
Caleb?
reading. Caleb Williams. You're reading like the defense for the first time. Everything's so much faster. Blah blah blah. But man, he was just like missing everything. All of his throws felt rushed. His footwork was awful. So that was very discouraging. Craig, you mentioned they did win. He was the first number 1 overall pick. Start. I saw this from ESPN to start and win a game at quarterback since David Carr in 2002.
And you know what's so funny about
that?
How
is it possible? That's insane.
Well,
there's only been like 4 ever.
Pick. All those teams fucking suck. And you know what? Caleb Williams fucking sucked too. He had 93 yards. They won because there were no offensive touchdowns in this game.
Yeah.
The Bears scored a touchdown. Simone Biles' husband scored a touchdown on what was it? The blocked punt. And then they had the pick 6, which, dude, the Will Levis, I think that was the most Carson Wentz play I've ever seen by someone that wasn't Carson Wentz. When Will Levis, mid-sack, tossed the ball to a defender, realized what he did, and surrender crowbared while he was pick 6.
That was so good.
Like
Solak was calling for he wanted the still photo of that.
Like Will Levis is sitting there, hands on his head, just like watching this guy pick 6 return.
Dude, Levis is chaos. Levis is like the college girlfriend. You're like, I know I'm not going to marry this girl, but it'll be a fun year.
Goddamn right. Levis has never.
I don't think he looked good. What are you talking about? He did.
It's frisky though. Dude, sometimes it looks awesome. Other times it's a complete mess.
He's not saying it's good. He's saying it's
entertaining.
Never
it's
been
exciting.
Boring.
Yeah,
it's never Levis. I have never.
I feel alive.
Yeah.
I feel alive.
I've never watched
forever. Yeah,
I've never watched Will Levis drop back and been like bored. I'm going to look at my phone. Like,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait,
that was tough with Caleb Williams for sure.
And then continuing, Marvin Harrison, the Cardinals lost to the Bills by 6. Marvin Harrison had 1 catch for 4 yards. He got 9% of the team's targets. I mean, the Cardinals scored 28 points. They threw the ball a lot, and Marvin Harrison Jr. was just out there running wind sprints.
There was a picture at the very end of the last play of the game. They threw, Kyler threw like a sort of just a Hail Mary up for grabs ball to Greg Dortch, who's 5'4".
Yeah, that was the last play of the game.
And meanwhile, on the other side of the field, Marvin Harrison is like 30 yards away from any defender, just wide open. He should have had the game-winning touchdown.
That wasn't the same play, right?
Yes,
I thought that was
the same play. Well, I think
that was the end of game Hail Mary. I don't think so.
No.
Yeah,
I think that was a different play. DK.
That would be fucking crazy.
No, the one where that would be leading every. No,
okay, let me check because I thought it was.
I think it was just a random play in the game.
I think that should like lead SportsCenter if they threw the. First, it was bad enough that on 4th and 6, they're like, we're going to throw 30 yards downfield, jump ball to Greg Dortch, who's the shortest receiver in the NFL.
It was 3rd and 10. Coming up. We have the worst call of the week. Or I guess that's for no. We have the Arthur Smith Award for the coaching that pissed you off. It was 3rd and 10. 30 seconds left. The Cardinals run the ball with James Conner for 4 yards. Call a timeout. And then it's 4th and 6, and they chuck a go ball to Greg Dortch, who's 5'6", double covered. Game over.
I will say he almost got open, and he probably should have had a PI. And it's one of those where because it was 4th down, I feel like they didn't give him the PI, but if it was 2nd down, they might have given him the PI. Having said that, bad plan. What are you doing?
But yeah, extremely tough for these two guys. Heifetz, who lost the week for you?
Well, wait. Before we move on, while we're on the Cardinals,
Hmm.
I have to say, for years and years now, we've done two tight ends who outscored Kyle Pitts in a lie. But you know what? Kyle Pitts, he scored a touchdown today. He was like the third best tight end entering Sunday Night Football. And so I wanted to give Kyle Pitts a break this week. But I would like to play with you guys my new favorite game. 2 rookie receivers who outscored Marvin Harrison Jr. and one lie.
Okay.
Are you guys ready for this? You guys fucking ready? And DK, if you know him off the jump, we're going to get Craig. There's no chance Craig knows this shit.
No, yeah, you'll get me.
2 receivers who outscored Marvin Harrison, 2 rookie receivers who outscored Marvin Harrison Jr. in a lie. Mason Tipton, Eric Bufumo, Devon Villay.
Eric Bufumo?
Devon Villay's real. I know that.
Mason Tipton, Eric Bufumo, Devon Villay.
I think Mason Tipton is fake.
I think Eric Bufumo or whatever you said was fake.
Mason Tipton is real. Mason Tipton's on the Saints.
Yep.
Eric Bufumo is the Boom Boom Costco guy.
Oh, that's that guy's name?
Yeah.
I was like, I've never heard of it.
Is that guy a Steelers fan? I saw him in a video today. He gave the Steelers win a boom.
He gave him a boom?
Yeah, he did.
Really?
Yeah.
I'd like to take him to take Russell Wilson to Costco.
Yeah, this is a horrific start for all the Marvin Harrison people. This is going to be tough to bounce
Marvin
back
Harrison.
next week.
Oh my God. It's almost like he's a rookie receiver. All right.
I can't believe. So first of all, you never asked me who the biggest loser was, and I can't believe you guys didn't mention these two. Like, it's actually galling. I'm aghast right now because you didn't mention Deshaun Watson from the Browns, who looked like the worst quarterback in the world.
But he always looks like that.
Well, he still sucks.
He loses every week.
Dude, okay, hold on. I want to do this because I think that, like, in a transitive property, this also makes Baker Mayfield one of the biggest winners of the week. Deshaun Watson of the Browns and Bryce Young of the Panthers had 2 of the worst quarterbacking days I've ever seen in my life. And both teams could have just had Baker Mayfield, who threw 4 touchdowns. The Browns moved on from Mayfield. And I think this is also like one of the funniest storylines that people don't really talk about that much when it comes to like the Bryce Young colossal, the worst trade of all time. Like they not, in addition to giving up the multiple first round picks, one of which became Caleb Williams, one of the best quarterback prospects we've ever seen. They also just had Baker Mayfield on the roster in 2022 and cut him.
They cut him.
And now he's like a pretty good starter. Also, I think this is pretty indicative that maybe Dave Canales wasn't actually a quarterback whisperer, and Baker Mayfield, the former first overall pick, is actually just kind of good.
You know who the other quarterback on that roster was? Sam Darnold, who completed his first 12 passes today.
Yes.
Maybe it's the fucking Panthers.
The Panthers, this is the worst run for any professional franchise I've ever heard of. Like the worst, just like cascading series of events. Like I can't imagine how bad it is for Panthers.
I totally agree. So I think the Panthers, this was the least competitive game any team might have all year. Panthers lost 40.
Awful. And they played the Saints.
Played the Saints. They lost 47-10. It was 30-3 at halftime, and the 3 came as time expired. It was 30-3. They kicked a field goal down 30 seconds, down 30 in the first half, just to say they didn't get shut out.
Just get on the board. Yeah.
Think about it this way. Remember when David Tepper threw the drink at the fan because he was so mad about like losing to CJ Stroud and realizing that like Bryce Young was a mistake, and like right in the last game of the season, they had 9 months to figure out. 9 months to figure out. What are we going to do with Bryce Young this year? And his first pass of the season gets intercepted.
That's tough.
Yeah.
Can you imagine being David Tepper watching this game and his first pass, and you're like, all right, we're going to go to halftime, we're going to buckle down. And his second pass of the second half gets intercepted.
And it was a bad one. There was a great clip on Twitter of Alvin Kamara coming around the side on a run, and 3 Panthers players on defense all trip over one another and just all fall down at the same time as Kamara just like strolls up the sideline.
Oh, it's got to be so hard to feel hope right now.
And
for the Panthers.
Here's the crazy thing. The only situation I'd even listen to as he's being worse than Carolina is the Browns, because the Browns also awful. But here's the thing. Carolina is a way worse team than Cleveland. But the Browns are more committed to Deshaun Watson than any player in the NFL. This is not
They
hyperbole.
they just like didn't they renegotiate his contract too?
So-
like
Yeah, Watson's deal. It's not not the way that Watson's deal is on like any other deal. When they're like, oh yeah, we're doing all this, that usually means they double down. That's not even the point. They already owe him all the money. I mean this when I say it. This is actual math. The Chiefs could cut Patrick Mahomes, and it would not cost them as much money as the Browns would cost to cut Deshaun Watson. They are more committed to Deshaun Watson than anybody. He will be on that contract till 2027. No one's taking the contract. Deshaun Watson will be on the Browns till 2027. Bryce Young might not be on the Panthers in like 2 months. Like, that is kind of insane when you watch Deshaun Watson play and think about how he's going to be on this team for 3 more years.
169 yards passing on 45 attempts.
That's so low.
Every time I looked up at this game, he was like chucking a ball into the side into the stands. He was so inaccurate. It's unbelievable how bad he was missing on these deep throws. And by the way, remember, this is a guy who was sitting out practice because of general arm soreness like a couple weeks ago.
I don't think
it's
the
not
Micah
getting
Parsons,
any better.
I don't think the Micah Parsons drilling him into the turf helped the general arm
The
soreness.
vibes were so bad.
What's above general? Like Master Chief arm soreness? I don't know.
Oh my God. It was so bad.
I have one other
3.8
loser.
yards per attempt.
I have one other loser of week 1. The cops who detained Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
One of them just went on administrative leave, I believe.
Yeah, tough day for those guys. I actually think today was the craziest.
I would argue
plea.
it was a tough day for Tyreek more than it was
Yeah,
the cops.
that's true.
But yeah.
But I didn't know what to. I wasn't going to call Tyreek a winner because he got arrested. But Tyreek Hill coming out, the Scotty Scheffler. Then he goes out 7 catches, 130 yards. Was that the
80-yard
longest touchdown of his career? Yeah, 80-yard touchdown. Dolphins win 2017. Tyreek, they do him getting arrested celebration.
Honestly,
in the
great
end zone.
celebration. He should do that the whole year.
Was that
awesome.
Waddle helping him out on
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
I don't know who.
That's
that was
great.
It was pretty good. Also, I have to. Did you guys? You guys don't watch pregame shows because you're on the West Coast. So they brought out sweaty ass Drew Rosenhaus, who had been running around in Miami with. First of all, Jeff Darlington.
Rosenhaus got there fast.
He was in the car.
He was driving there with him. Okay.
Rosenhaus saying that Tyreek Hill wants to be a cop one day was the funniest part of the day.
What was that? He was just like apparently telling the cop, I love law enforcement. I respect law enforcement. I would like to be a police officer one day. And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh, God.
What a weird thing to say.
I love the idea of getting arrested and saying, I want to have your job.
Yeah. Wait, what are you like, Shaq? You're going to be deputized as a sheriff for a commercial?
Oh.
I thought that was strange. I'm like, I wasn't sure if people had caught that or if it had gone around or was going to be lost.
Yeah, it didn't make the rounds as much as it should have. But yeah,
Drew Rosenhaus was like, yeah, Tyreek told him I would love to be in law enforcement one day. And I'm like, I don't think that's going to happen, bud. I don't know. Anyway. The other thing that Jeff Darlington, who was like, he is like the Miami guy for ESPN, was the guy at the Scotty Scheffler arrest, which is also fucking weird. He was at the gate.
Dude,
there were like
is Darlington setting these up?
Dude,
calls
he's
coming from
behind
inside
on
the house. Yeah.
He's behind this.
Literally, what are the odds that there's like 2 people in the world who actually
That's
were like
so true.
I don't know.
Wow.
It's so weird that like they go to Jeff Darlington and they're like, Jeff, you've been in this situation a lot. And
You know how they call like some lawyers like ambulance chasers?
Yeah.
Darlington's just, I don't know, sitting outside stadiums, right, waiting for famous people to get to the stadium.
He's just on
cop.
stakeouts. It's like when celebrities call the paparazzi on themselves. That's Jeff Darlington.
Yeah.
It's like, Jeff, about to get pulled over. All right. The I Am Become Death Oppenheimer Award for the player who went nuclear. Craig.
What a great category name.
Yeah.
I Am Become Death. This is from Friday in Brazil, but my Lord, Saquon Barkley. Just absolutely erupted Heifetz. I debated making you the loser of the week. But Saquon looked as good as he has ever looked. It's crazy to see what he could do behind a competent offensive line and a competent team surrounded by other talented players. He was phenomenal. He had 3 touchdowns.
The look on Heifetz's face, for people that are not watching on video, he's just like the 1,000-yard stare, staring off into the distance.
Honestly, I'm just happy Saquon's happy.
Yeah. That's where
sure.
you have to be. That's where your headspace has to be right now.
Like Eagles won 34-29. Saquon 132 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Number 1 running back in fantasy this week.
3 touchdowns. You know how many touchdowns the Giants scored?
0.
Fucking 0.
Sounds right. Yeah. Giants are awful at scoring touchdowns.
I just, you know what?
And it does seem like he is the I am become death of fantasy now, because it's like going forward to me, he's right in the mix with McCaffrey and all the, like, he is right there now.
It's funny. I feel like I think we had Saquon pretty highly ranked. There were a lot of places that are pretty down on Saquon, and if
we had him highly ranked. We didn't talk about him for the last few weeks.
He was kind of a Glansberg, weirdly.
It was painful for me. I think we talked about him 4 episodes in a row in the beginning of August, and I was like, I should probably talk about Saquon less, and then we kind of didn't.
Yeah,
like get back to it. But I think the argument for Saquon was like, well, you know, what if the Eagles the tush push with Jalen Hurts? What if he takes the goal line touchdowns, and then also like he won't check down to Saquon? And in retrospect, it's like they're going to design a whole screen game for him for the passing game. And you know what? I think the question we didn't ask enough was, what if Saquon takes the fucking touchdowns from Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
And I think if you could watch that game back, you'd be like, you'd move Jalen Hurts down and Saquon up.
It really does seem like the Eagles are not that interested in running Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Well, you know? Bill Barnwell
looks kind of bad running lately.
He does.
What's going on with that?
The Eagles are just, the vibes are there are still kind of weird. I don't know what's up with Hurts.
Hurts kind of looks like he's running in slow motion.
He does.
Hurts has like a very, I don't know, like, I don't know what the technical word is. You know, in Dumb and Dumber, when Jim Carrey's like running in the truck, he's like moving his hands really fast. He's like, it feels like you're running at an incredible pace, Harry. Like, that's how Jalen Hurts runs. I don't know. Like, he just moves his hands really like,
you know what? It's like
Mahomes
looks like he's going slow, but he's outrunning everyone, and Hurts looks like he's trying really hard, but he's actually going really slow.
It's very robotic. He runs like the Terminator.
That's
like
what
the T-1000.
Okay, thank you. That's a good one. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Robotic is exactly the right word.
It's like he's thinking about his form.
Gotta move my hands. It's like how I run when I'm dreaming.
Yeah, he's like left arm forward, right leg forward, right arm forward, left leg forward.
But he used to be so fast. Now I feel like for whatever reason, injuries maybe have.
Well, he has to think about it.
It's because he's too focused on the tush push. He's squatting so much that he's so slow now. His legs
maybe
are too
all
big.
the shoving on his ass
too much
fucked
power.
Up his fucking butt.
Too much torque.
Yeah, maybe everyone moved his legs out of order. You know what I mean? DK, who's your Oppenheimer player who went nuclear?
I had Saquon and then Joe Mixon, who we've discussed. Actually, just scary amounts of production for both of those guys. If you didn't get them, could be trouble.
All right, so then I am become death. Shout out Chris Boswell, the kicker for the Steelers.
Oh, hell yeah.
Number 1 kicker in fantasy for the week. First kicker in Steelers history with 3 different 50-yard kicks in the same game.
Wow.
5 field goals. Steelers won 18-10 over the Falcons. Steelers did not score a touchdown. All Chris Boswell points won them the game, and the Steelers punter got hurt. So Chris Boswell punted. Yep. So he scored all the Steelers points and he punted.
Let me tell you, Steelers fans, we've been new about Chris Boswell. Boswell has been the best player in the Steelers offense since 2020. He is the most reliable player in the offense.
That is such a brutal thing to say.
I also feel like we had a very large conversation last year that like stayed in our imagination of just like when a punt, like last year, a kicker got hurt.
Yeah.
And a linebacker filled in, and we're like, why the fuck can't the punters kick? Like, just let the punters kick. And everyone's like, oh, well, it's a different motion. Blah,
the punters
blah, blah.
are holding.
Can't do
it. Find somebody else to hold.
Yeah. Well, when the punters
These guys
get
have world-class legs.
I know. Well, when the punters get hurt, the kickers can punt. It's just the punters who can't kick. That's
it's
clearly...
like thumbs and fingers. Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Kickers are fingers, but punters are thumbs.
Craig, you say that Boswell's your best offensive player, but holy shit, George Pickens is awesome.
Yeah. Pickens, once again, he's been doing this. We just couldn't get him the damn ball. So it was nice that Fields actually, and we could design some plays for him to get him open, and Fields actually put it in his lap.
As usual, had a few incredible catches that didn't count.
Yeah.
But overall, he had a pretty good game.
He did. He had a great game.
All right, next up, a brilliant category that Craig has brought to us. It's so over / we're so back.
Yeah.
This could be,
No explanation needed. Everybody on Twitter, everybody in life, everybody knows what It's So Over. Everybody who has ever texted a friend about sports. I could start. I'll do. We did talk about him briefly, but my we're so back is Cooper Kupp. We're so back.
Oh yeah.
We blocked out all the haters. We didn't listen to them. We kept working on the hammies, working on our pliability, eating well. 14 catches, 19 targets. He's making blocks. He's running all over the place. I hate his beard, but
it's the worst.
He hasn't cut it. I think he hasn't cut it since the Triple Crown season, but we're back. We're so back.
His beard is like Brock Bowers' hair, where it's so bad I'm convinced you're going to be amazing at football.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
you
not
just clearly
shaped.
don't think about anything.
He needs to shape it. It can be big. You just need to shape it a little bit. He hasn't touched that thing for years.
It's definitely cleaner than the James Harden beard.
Well,
but
yeah.
I mean, needless
Cooper
to
Kupp,
say.
I don't think he has the same extracurriculars
No, Harden's
as
was
Harden.
way better. Yeah.
Yeah, but Cooper Kupp's beard, I can't believe he has a wife.
He got the beard after he got the
Right.
wife.
Like, I understand why Harden does not have a wife.
Oh yeah, no. Dude, I don't think we ever said that on the pod, but we had joked about how James Harden's beard, you could do like an archaeological study by like era of like what city he was
like
in.
carbon dating.
Yeah, it should be like his beard should be sent to the CDC.
Yeah.
God, that thing's disgusting.
Can one of these be both?
Oh, yeah. You can each have one. You can have one.
It's so over. We're so back. Tight ends suck again. It's like welcome back to normalcy. Remember how earlier this offseason we're like, oh yeah, the tight end position solved. Yeah, fuck that.
It's so over. We're so back because it's so over.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I looked at the ADP for the top 9 tight ends in drafts this year. The most yards any of those 9 tight ends had this year, in week 1, 45 yards. Sam Laporta, 4 catches for 45 yards. That was the most yards any of the top 9 tight ends got. McBride was probably the best of that group. He had a 29% target rate. So I'm feeling pretty good about McBride.
5 points.
Yeah, but it's like better than all these other guys. Kelsey, 15% target rate. Laporta, his was up over the 20s. That's good. Mark Andrews, 5%. Kincaid, 1 catch for 11 yards. Kyle Pitts, 13% target rate. He saved it with a touchdown. But again, very disappointing. Evan Ingram, 1 catch for 5 yards. He had a bunch of targets. So that's, I guess, maybe promising going forward. Jake Ferguson, 3 catches for 15 yards. He hurt his knee. He's probably going to be out a few weeks. Brock Bowers, by the way, was like the best of all of these. He had 6 catches for 58 yards, 26% target rate. And he was the 10th. He was the 10th tight end in ADP.
It's funny because I feel like we were like, get a top 7 tight end. George Kittle hasn't played yet, obviously.
Right.
But it's like, I was like, yeah, well, and then I watched the early slate. And I'm like, Mark Andrews was terrible on Thursday. And I'm like watching all these guys. I'm like, all these guys are terrible. I'm like, damn, maybe we should have waited on tight end. And then in the same game, David Njoku and Jake Ferguson go off with injuries.
Yeah.
In the same game. And I realized, and then I checked Evan Ingram with the catch. And I'm like, oh my God, none of the top 10 people made anyone happy this week.
Yeah. It's going to be a frenzy for Isaiah Likely on the waiver wire.
I don't know if there's
frenzy. There's blood in the water.
Yeah. It's blood in the fucking water. It's so over. We're so back. There's no we're so back. It's just so over. Daniel Jones and the Giants. It's never been more over. It's never been. The Giants.
It's Jover.
It's so over.
The Giants. This is the 100th season of the Giants as a franchise. They're celebrating.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a funeral. It's like it's the worst season.
Maybe
maybe
it should be the last season. You know,
I think it should be the last season of the New York Giants. They should fold. The Giants lost to the Vikings. I don't like saying. Can someone else say the score out loud? 28-6, which
so the Vikings at home.
28-6 to the Vikings at home, celebrating their 100th season. Again, Saquon had 3 touchdowns. The Giants had 0. I think I don't even know where to start, but like,
I know where to start. Like a quarter into the game, Dayball was actively trying to kill Daniel Jones. He's like, okay, this isn't going to work. Let's just run him on a bunch of keepers. Like there was like several designed runs where I'm like, what are they doing?
Dude,
he's so frail out there. I know that he ran for a bunch of yards, blah, blah, blah. But like, come on. They're trying to get him hurt is what's happening.
My brother and I, and we're sicko Giants fans, and my brother and I have had a 3-year argument about Daniel Jones. It's like politics. It's hard for us to talk about. And where he basically thinks
that's off the table. We're not talking about this.
It's tough. And it's like he just thinks that I am disloyal. He thinks that I'm hard, blah, blah, blah. He thinks, I've been pilled by being in NFL media, blah, blah, blah. And I think he's a fucking soft-hearted, like this guy sucks. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah, wake up, sheeple. We've been arguing about this for 3 weeks, including a very, very long argument about this on Friday night.
Very long.
Very long. When Daniel Jones threw the pick 6, 5 yards from the end zone to Andrew Van Ginkel, the screen, that was a pick 6. 5 seconds later, my brother texted me, "You were right. Daniel Jones sucks."
I think that's the second worst kind of pick 6 you can throw. I think the first one is the like shallow out route that the corner reads immediately and is like catching it at full speed already. And the second worst, though, is the screen that goes right into the edge rusher's hands. That's the second worst one.
I have no words other than like the playoff season's just blur because it was kind of fake the whole time. But like, it kind of, DK, you said this to me the other day, like on the show, and it hit me like an asteroid, where you're like, the entire time Heifetz has been doing this show with me, he's been rooting for the Giants to lose.
Every year, it's like, God, we won again, and we won some meaningless game. I just want them to lose all the games every single year since like 2016.
It really has, like, my entire professional career has been the Giants need a quarterback. It's just been Eli Manning and Daniel Jones, and anyway,
well, you know what?
It's so over.
This was a great week for you. The Patriots won and you lost. This is exactly what you need.
It's just for the Panthers and the Giants racing for the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
And they're, well, I guess we'll get Quinn fucking Ewers and he'll just be the new Daniel Jones or whatever. All right.
Hold on. I got one more. This you mentioned it, but we're so back. The Seahawks circus. For the longest time, Pete Carroll, I called the Seahawks the circus, like, and I would give like big top rankings for like every moment that happened during the Pete Carroll era. Like, Earl Thomas is flipping off Pete Carroll as he gets carted off with a broken knee or whatever. Like, the Seahawks had 2 safeties in 1 quarter. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I'm sure it's happened maybe in like the 1950s or something. The Seahawks managed to get 2 safeties in the same quarter. We're so back. I love this. It was absolutely ludicrous. It was ridiculous. They ended up winning, so we can laugh about it. But who does that? Who gets 2 safeties?
I would just like to say that I will not be addressing the Josh Palmer "it's so over" allegations at this time. I'm taking some time away to be with my family, with those close to me. So please, no comments at this time. No questions. We'll revisit this in the future.
Play of the day, dude. The Anthony Richardson throw
100%.
Where he slipped and then just threw it 65 yards for a touchdown was ridiculous.
He dropped back. This is something that happened a lot today. He dropped back, he slipped, and he kind of like backed up a little bit and just threw it as hard as he could. And he let it go. I did the math. He let it go, and hopefully I got those math right. Let it go from his own 32-yard line. It landed on the 3-yard line.
Yeah. Like
in stride, Alec Pierce running full speed for a touchdown. I believe the math is 65 yards.
Tracking data.
I verbally gasped when I saw that. It was the 3rd longest throw in the air since 2016.
No way.
Wow. Yeah. Ben Solak tweeted that. Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy.
I remember the other throws. One was the Herbert, the one that went
the Herbert one. Yeah.
71. The Richardson throw is exactly what I thought I was capable of when I was like 6 years old. And I can't believe it's like that.
That's like how far I can throw it with one of those Nerf balls that has like it looks like an arrow and it whistles when you throw it.
Yeah.
I don't think I could shoot a bow and arrow that far.
It's that throw, like his like motion and his like comfort with that throw, his like how free he was with that throw is like how I feel if you're at like a dog park and you have a tennis ball and you just have like an open park in front of you and you're just like, I'm just gonna fucking wing this thing.
It's like high-a-lie. Those
little
they go like 150 miles an hour.
Yeah. What are those? Is that what they're called? High lie?
That's a sport, high-a-lie.
Oh, you're talking about those things that have it's like
the
curved
scoop? Yeah,
scoop.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant the tennis ball picker upper for a dog.
Well,
Yes.
they make like the high-a-lie, like whatever you call them, like
for
rackets
tennis
or-
balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, for dogs. Those things, you could whip that thing 100 yards like it's nothing. Just like Anthony Richardson. That was
Well, he needs a nickname. Should we call him AR High Ally?
I don't think anyone would get that.
Yeah,
it doesn't really roll off the tongue.
No.
Colts are so fun. They're easily like the red zone team this year.
Oh my God.
Everything
Email
Anthony Richardson does is interesting.
Email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com if you have an idea for a nickname for Anthony Richardson. Other player of the day I just want to shout out. Brandon Aubrey, the Cowboys kicker, casually made a 66-yard field goal, which is the NFL record, and
Tied.
it cleared by a lot, and then it didn't count. Or tied it with Justin Tucker. And it didn't count because the Cowboys got to delay a game. That shit went farther than Justin Tucker's. Justin Tucker's in a dome, hit the bar, and bounced over. Brandon Aubrey's cleared it by so much, I thought that the distance on the thing was
Didn't
wrong.
Aubrey have a 66-yarder in the preseason too?
65, yeah, something like that.
Well, they got the penalty. That he lined up to kick a 71-yarder
and
for a second.
I would have thought they were on crack if I hadn't seen him just fucking do it before. And I was like, I literally turned to Jack and I was like, did he break that by 5 yards? I thought it hit the net from 66.
Yeah.
That
was still going up.
crazy. Yeah.
Soft that they didn't let him try the 71-yarder. Come on.
Dude, he's unbelievable. There's quietly been a revolution in kicking.
Yeah.
There were Solek gets to play with ESPN Stats and Info now. And he had this thing that there had been 17 50-yard field goals made in week 1, which is the single week record. And there were 6 games left on the day.
Wow.
Like the amount of 50-yard field goals being made. I know I've said this before, and it's my first thing where I feel old. It used to be a thing when someone would even try one before 60.
Yeah.
They would cut to it. Beyond 50 was like, they would talk about 50 the way they now talk about 62 plus. Like, it is crazy. Like 17 50-yard field goals made in the 1 o'clock window is insane.
To be honest, if I was getting up to go to the bathroom and the announcer was like, and Harrison Butker is lining up for a 61-yard field goal, I think I'm still going to the bathroom. I think it has to be north of 65 now before I'm like even interested. That's how desensitized I am to
Like
this.
on the broadcast tonight, like I know there are some people young listening who don't give a fuck, but I think older people know. The broadcast tonight, they're talking about the college kickers for, I don't know if it was the Lions or Rams, had made a 62-yarder in the building. A college kicker had made a 62-yard. I don't know. That was literally impossible 20 years ago. Anyway. Whatever.
And also, Justin Tucker's washed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, yikes. He's 1 for 5 on 50 plus.
Which
last
is
season,
just
and missed
bizarre.
his only one. Not great. All right. Next up, we got Real and Spectacular.
They're real and they're spectacular.
Goddamn
Please
right.
quote Seinfeld correctly and Miss Terry Hatcher.
Kai, can we drop that?
Legendary line.
They're real and they're spectacular.
Craig, who's Real and Spectacular this week?
My they're real and they're spectacular, I think has to go to Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Rookie quarterback on the Commanders. Look, he had a fantastic day fantasy-wise. They lost to the Bucks pretty handedly, but he was the third best quarterback today in fantasy football. What,
28 points.
28 points, ran all over the place, had 2 touchdowns, had a real awesome garbage time touchdown for any of you who had him in fantasy. Is he good at throwing? It was a tough day. We don't really know yet. But you know what?
Who cares?
Look, a lab-grown diamond
I don't
looks
give a
like the
shit.
same thing as a regular diamond. He's kind of a lab-grown diamond for fantasy, but it's fine because
It was like the perfect Jane Daniels game too, because literally I think at least 2. I didn't watch every single play of this game because I was kind of like going through different games, but at least 2 times I saw his helmet go flying off.
Yeah.
Can
He's
he
just-
get
he's
him a
sending
helmet
it.
that fits? What
Yeah.
the fuck?
I mean,
The
but this is like
announcers-
before the season and before the draft, we were talking about like this guy he plays like Josh Allen, but he's 189 pounds or whatever he is. And I'm like, dude, this guy needs to protect himself. Twice I saw his helmet go flying off.
he
He
does
needs to be careful out there.
Look, I think he's better than Justin Fields, but the way he's playing right now feels peak Justin Fields when he was like a top 5 quarterback in fantasy, where he is looking to run so much, but you love it. And he's so good at it. He's so fast, so slippery, but he is constantly running. I'm a
He had
little worried.
Craig 20 points running today.
Yeah.
21 points.
He is always looking to run. Maybe I'm a little nervous for him. And he tries to slide. He kind of like tumbles forward, but he's trying. And I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, he's going to be a force in fantasy.
Yeah, this was the dream. This was the dream. 20
all he does
points
is run.
just rushing.
Top 5 quarterbacks on the week so far are Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Jaden Daniels, Anthony Richardson, Lamar Jackson. I feel like Jaden Daniels, I talked him up a lot in the preseason, and he's everything I wanted. But to Craig's point, watching him today, I was like, okay, thank God he's good and doing everything I thought he would. Also, I don't know how the fuck he's going to get through 17 games.
Should trade him now?
I honestly, I'm not even kidding you.
Not yet. Wait a few weeks.
I can't. Yeah. I have no idea how this dude's going to make through a whole season like this. He learned nothing. Again, you can't, like 24-year-old men, they can't. What are you going to do? This is why they don't get insured for cars. Like, this is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was the dream. 28 points, week 1. I gave you guys the list of the quarterbacks who have had 20 plus points in their first game as a pro. It was like all rushing quarterbacks, essentially. Anthony Richardson, Kyler Murray, going back RG3, a couple other people I can't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah, my friend texted me today because he drafted Jaden Daniels in his league, and he was like, I don't think I can ever draft a pocket passer again. And I kind of get it. Like, it's when you like Dak Prescott or something, or Jared Goff.
Burrow, 8 points.
It's just
Baker goes down and gets 29, and you're like, damn, so I could get anyone?
I got one. I think he's real and spectacular. J.K. Dobbins. It feels like, look, he got caught from behind really egregiously. No top end speed whatsoever anymore. And you just have to accept that. But he looked pretty damn good, honestly. He knew how to run in the scheme. He was like making jump cuts behind the line, and he had some short area burst to him. 135 yards on 10 rushes. He had like a 61-yard breakaway that helped them ice the game in the second half. 22.9 PPR fantasy points. Second among all running backs this week in scrimmage yards. So I don't know. Look, he was one of our guys this year, or coming into the season, where we're like, if all the things kind of fall right, he could be like one of the biggest values, because he's like basically going undrafted for like $1 in auction leagues. And he's run in the system before, and obviously he's probably not as explosive as he used to be, but all things kind of lined up for him today. And I'm like, this might actually be real. This might be a thing.
Dobbins is Raheem Mostert last year. We don't know how long.
Extremely slow version of Raheem Mostert.
Yeah.
Raheem Slowster.
Slowster. Raheem
Slowster. Oh, that's good.
Really, though, we don't know how long he's going to stay healthy. But every game, Raheem Slowster.
Slowster.
Fuck, that's good.
Yeah, trademark that.
My God.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Fart or Shart? Craig, you want to explain this one?
Yeah, this is a player who had a tough day, and we need to know, was this just a fart, or did a little bit of poop come out? Is this a problem?
Like, do you have to go home?
Yeah. Is this just, it's okay, you don't have to leave dinner, you don't have to leave the date you're on, or do you got to get the hell out of there? I'm going to propose Raheem Mostert.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Had 6 carries for 9 yards today. Nobody
Nice.
on Miami really ran the ball well. I mean, Achane had 10 carries for 24 yards. He did get a touchdown. Achane's day was great because of his receiving work. So because nobody ran the ball well, maybe I feel a little bit better here. But this was certainly concerning, especially seeing Achane get the goal line carry today. But yes, Fart or Shart?
I came away pretty concerned.
Shart. You're saying Shart. Can you say Shart?
Shart.
Nice.
Potentially.
Okay.
Potential
Shart.
Well, I think basically you're right. Like, they did not run the ball well at all. They didn't have a ton of like red zone opportunities, but I think Achane is clearly ahead of him now in the pecking order, which we weren't quite sure of coming into the year, because the way that Mike McDaniel had talked about it seemed like he was sort of the starter. He only got 43% of the snaps. Are you still laughing about Shart?
Yeah.
Like I'm like trying to talk, and Craig is just giggling.
Sorry.
You're like giving analysis.
He sharted.
It's
also,
I'm a little punch drunk.
I didn't love the fact that Jeff Wilson got 5 carries to Raheem Mostert's 6.
Yeah.
That's a little worrisome to me. So I'm worried this is a Shart a little bit.
Yeah.
He played 43% snaps.
Yeah.
24% of the team's rushes.
I think that
Not
the
good.
Achane goal line carry, I feel like he was robbed of a touchdown. I don't know why. I don't remember if it was overturned or what, but like he should have scored. And part of me wonders if they left Achane in to get the touchdown just because. I think the thing with Achane, and again, the reason Achane, if you have him, who's awesome today, is Achane, I think, functionally is Miami's third receiver.
Yeah.
The Miami receiving corps is so thin. And Malik Watt, like, it was so thin. Odell Beckham's on injured reserve. He's probably dust. Malik Washington was, he was out. Tyreek Hill was fucking detained outside the goddamn stadium.
The Jonnu Smith thing didn't really happen.
No, Jalen Waddle got hurt during the game. Like, I really do think Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Devon Achane's the third receiver in this team. I think that upside's infinite. But flip side,
Heifetz, Achane ran 25 routes, which was his third most on the team. Only Waddle, Waddle and Hill ran more routes.
I think functionally Achane, like it is Tyreek and Waddle are, and like Achane, it really is going to be the third receiver in this team. I think the concern, he's going to do better than 10 yards. I think the problem is Miami's offensive line kind of fucking sucks.
Yeah. That was a concern. I think
Craig, you got to go to the stall and check because like it really, we
just
don't
go straight home.
We can't. Yeah, we can't. You don't have to go home yet.
Go straight home.
You do have to go to the bathroom right now.
Yeah.
And check.
All right. Do you guys have any fart or sharts?
No, that's a good one.
Okay.
All right. The Arthur Smith Award for the coach that pissed you off. I got two. I would like to start with Arthur Smith.
You were so back.
Winner.
It's so over. Yeah.
Winner. Yeah.
Arthur Smith. Aside from just being Arthur Smith, and again, like, giving Jalen Warren 2 carries and Cordell Patterson 4.
Well, he was coming off an injury.
Yeah, fair. But also, I would like to just throw out this one moment for the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think we complained a lot about Arthur Smith in fantasy football. Here's a real life moment that not only baffled me, actually sent the announcers for a loop. 3rd and 6, they ran the ball with Cordell Patterson, got 3 yards. And the announcers were like, wow, love that from the Steelers, because when you know you're going to go for it on 4th down,
right,
then you can get more yards on 3rd, make it 4th and manageable. And then they lined up, they went out and had a Chris Boswell kick a 57-yard field goal. He literally ran it on 3rd and 6 to set up a 57-yard field goal.
I think that's probably, I'm afraid Justin Fields is going to do something stupid.
If you need, I don't know, if you're willing to get 3 yards, the fact that you can't boot out Justin Fields and be like, if nothing's open, run for 3 yards, Justin. I don't know. That blew my fucking doors off.
Yeah, look, it wasn't the best offensive day for Pittsburgh, but I thought the second half showed some signs. It was not full Matt Canada. It was half Matt Canada, which is better. And we won. And the team actually looked all right. We won. Yeah.
We won. You lost.
DK, who's your Arthur Smith coach that pissed you off?
I mean, honestly, like, I don't know if this pissed me off so much as I was just like, this is cowardly, is Antonio Pierce decided to punt when they were on, so the Raiders were on the Chargers 43-yard line with a 4th and 1, trailing 16-10 with 7 minutes to go in the game. And there's all these stats that basically say like no teams ever do that. Like, this is one of the most cowardly punts of all time.
Yeah. Bill Barnwell had this great one that was, I lost Bill's one, but Paul Gutierrez at ESPN had, the Raiders are the first team to punt in opposing territory when trailing by 1 score in the 4th quarter on 4th and 1 since 2016.
Wow.
Yeah. It dropped their win probability immediately, just by the decision to punt dropped their win probability. I love that. It's always good. And the Lions came back and had a 92-yard touchdown drive, iced the game.
Oh, you mean the Chargers?
Sorry. Yes. The Chargers.
I think
that was just like, come on, dude. I'm so sick of defensive coaches doing this kind of stuff. Like, just fucking go for it.
Collinsworth said this line at the end of Sunday Night Football about the Lions, when he was like, the Lions aren't just like talk about grit. They are gritty. Like, they play gritty. He was talking about David Montgomery. It was like, David Montgomery fucking runs gritty. And I think the problem with the Antonio Pierce is this has nothing to do with math or nerds. The problem is Antonio Pierce wants to be like the physical, in your face, kick the shit out of your team. And I'm like, that wasn't 4th and 1 either. It's 4th and 1 on the stat sheet. That shit was half a yard. That was 18 inches. If you can get out, which again, too much, right, Craig? Like, if you can't get fucking 18 inches when you need it, then stop talking about being the physical football team that can take what you want. I think that's the problem.
Agree.
All right, cool.
Were you waiting? Was that?
No, you took a big sigh. I don't know.
It was like Craig.
Thought you were gonna say something.
Craig contemplated all the evidence.
Sounds right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, look, it's a
Agree.
good point. I was thinking about 18 inches. I was like, wrap my head around that.
Damn. Worst call of the week. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think there was a ref thing that really pissed me off this week. So I'm gonna give this to whoever did the field in Brazil for Packers Eagles.
Dude.
Where it's like on one hand, thankless job to have to ship all that on a container ship to Brazil. Having said
That's what they did.
Oh my God, dude. Here's the thing. I actually feel I feel it is. I read a story about the logistics of getting this field there. Insane. Everything you saw on
They didn't just have a field there.
Well,
They had to do a
everything has
different
to be
field?
sent.
Huh.
But oh my God, that field was horrific.
Yeah.
People were falling in ways I've never seen people fall. That was a terrible field. I don't know what they were doing. And also a lot of people slipped today too.
Yeah. The next category is the SBF Fraud Watch presented by FTX, biggest fraud of the day.
Wait. SBF. Yeah. Shout out our presenting sponsor, FTX.
Shout out Sam Bankman-Fried. Come on the pod. Yeah, my fraud is NFL field maintenance. I don't know what the fuck was going on today.
It was
actually,
weird.
it started in
weird.
Brazil. It was super weird. And I wrote every single one down. The Seattle game, people were slipping. Javonte Williams
Geno
slipped.
Smith was slipping all the time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Indianapolis, they had new turf there. Stroud slipped and still completed a pass on 4th down. Mixon was slipping. Receivers were slipping. In Tampa, Rashad White slipped. The Cleveland game, Njoku slipped and then got hurt later. And then in the game tonight, the Detroit, Montgomery slipped. Amon-Ra slipped and had to bat down his own pass. What's going on? What are we doing?
Once you pointed this out, I forget when you texted me this. I couldn't stop seeing players slip.
Everybody was slipping.
Amon-Ra
all
on
day.
the last drive. Amon-Ra
Yes.
slipped. You're right in that it seemed contagious.
Yeah. They were
It's
all
like everybody turned into Kadarius Toney all of a sudden.
I think every team was playing in Brazil and they didn't tell us.
Oh,
I think it was week 1 was in Brazil, not just
love a good
the Friday night
conspiracy.
game. Yeah. I think Darlington was in Brazil.
Yeah, it's Jeff Darlington's fault.
The weird thing was, like, Craig, I saw that happen a bunch when the Seahawks play on field turf. It wasn't even like a field. It's not even like real turf. I don't know what's going on out there. It was weird. I think they play on field turf unless they changed it recently.
I mean, I don't know what field turf is.
Well, no one really knows. Every field is different, I feel like.
When you say
what are you trying
regular
to say about
turf,
field?
It wasn't grass.
Is that a
Put it that way.
brand? Field turf?
wait,
You've
when
never
you
heard of field turf?
well, no, to me,
Just turf.
just because you said they're not playing on field turf, they're playing on turf. Does turf mean grass to you? Because turf means fake grass to me.
No, I meant to say not grass. I just misspoke.
Oh,
But you've never heard of the term field turf?
yeah, I think but
What?
I have heard the term
Craig,
field turf.
I'm
I'm
reacting to Heifetz not knowing what field turf is.
Wait, does field turf is that different from turf?
Slightly. It's not real grass.
I know turf isn't real grass.
No, sorry. I misspoke. I meant it's field turf, not grass.
Is there a difference between when people say just turf and field turf?
Field turf is it's like a brand, I think.
Okay, it's
So
like
it's like its own separate thing. But that's the thing. It's like there's lots.
But isn't
of
that what
different
I
types
asked
of
at the
turf.
beginning? And you said I was dumb.
No, I was insinuating you're dumb because you've never heard of field turf.
But I said, is field turf a brand? And then you made fun of me.
No, because I was making fun of you because you'd never heard of it. It's like saying, "What's Kleenex?" I've never heard of Kleenex.
And I said, it's a brand. Is it?
No, I'm still once again, I'm still just shocked you've never heard of field turf.
Well, I don't buy field turf. I buy Kleenex.
Yeah, but you cover football.
I never bought any.
It's like it's wild.
You're the
to
one who
me.
doesn't know. All right, wait. So, but turf, I feel like when you say, oh, the player goes to the turf, that's like, it doesn't matter. It's a metaphor.
Yeah.
Any other thing, though, I think of turf as synthetic.
yes, fake grass.
I agree.
What were we talking about?
Fraud watch,
Just-
NFL
Right.
field maintenance.
Yeah.
Field turf.
Yeah, they don't care. The teams, I don't know what's going on there.
Is there
yeah.
a consensus? Is it people want to play on grass, right?
Everybody wants to play in grass.
It's just more
Everybody wants to
expensive,
play in grass.
and they can't.
Yeah, I think the
Well,
basic,
these stadiums want to make money, so they have all these concerts and it ruins grass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's how do you on the bye week? How do you have a Taylor Swift concert or a Kevin Hart like stand-up thing and then bring grass back, and it's way easier to roll it up. But then you have things like, I don't know if you guys saw the USC LSU game. There was this video of the Trojan mascot plunges a sword into the field, but he did it at the fake grass in Allegiant. He pulled up the turf back with it, and you like when you see it, it's like ick for grass because you like see it come up like it's a carpet, and you're like, ugh, like it's so weird when you realize it's just carpet, grass, field turf. Anyway, all right. My SBF fraud watch presented by FTX is the Falcons.
Oh yeah.
The Falcons are frauds. I regret ever buying into this goddamn company. I never want to do it again. One, the Falcons is a franchise of frauds. They had to go silent count at home because there were so many Steelers fans in Atlanta. So embarrassing. We talk about it all the time with the Chargers. Pathetic that the Chargers that the Falcons had to do that. TJ Watt basically said after the game he knew the Falcons snap counts. Pathetic. Michael Penix, the name Penix.
Jesus.
Penix was trending in Atlanta on Twitter like 20 minutes into this game because Kirk Cousins looked so fucking bad.
Yeah.
And then
this Penix pick is making more sense by the day.
Yeah, they got Kirk Cousins in. They signed him. Like, this guy sucks. We need a quarterback.
What?
The Steelers D-line terrorized the Falcons today. TJ Watt, like, borderline single-handedly won that game for the Steelers. He was involved in every single play. He had a million sacks and strip sacks called back. He was jumping the line every time. He ended the game on a sack. He was incredible.
TJ Watt's had some of the best games I've ever seen. They're all in week one, honestly. He's incredible. The Falcons threw for one more yard than the Steelers did today. Think about where you drafted the Falcons and where you drafted the Steelers. How's that make you feel? That's a fucking fraud. The only wide receivers in the Steelers-Falcons game to get more than 15 yards were George Pickens and Ray McLeod.
Ray McLeod led the Falcons in yards.
Yeah. What was your hey DK? What was your favorite Drake London moment today? Was it the 8-yard catch or the 7-yard catch?
Yeah. To quote Bill, when's the last Drake London conversation you had?
Yeah.
It was probably in the take perch when I said that the Falcons are going to be bad. Actually, Kirk Cousins is going to suck. I don't know if this is like.
Are we allowed to take credit for take purges or no?
Well, when you get it right, it's like week one. It's like when you get it right, it's because you're right. But when you're wrong, it's week one. No one would,
right. If you're wrong, you can just say, well, it was the take purge.
Okay.
Exactly. So it's the beauty of the take purge.
Right, that's what it's for.
Okay. But I was right so far. It's probably, I don't think I'm going to be right the whole season. I think they'll figure it out. But I do think Kirk Cousins is like not healthy.
I think this game was.
They didn't have one. Sorry, Heifetz. They didn't have one play action pass. I think I saw this. Nate Tice just tweeted this. Not one play action pass.
This game was very, very, very similar to when Joe Burrow came back last year in week one with the calf injury, and it was too soon. He couldn't move, and he was 82 passing yards, and the Falcons had shotgun or pistol. And again, if shotgun, and then pistol is just like slightly closer and the running back's behind you instead of next to you in shotgun. But it's the same thing. Falcons were in shotgun or pistol 96% of the time. Shotgun or pistol. When they were in shotgun, they only threw the ball in shotgun. 100% passes in shotgun.
Yeah.
When they were in pistol, 80% run. 80% run. That is probably the biggest tell I've ever seen.
So how did TJ Watt always know when they were going to pass?
How did TJ Watt always know the play, DK?
Why did I see him celebrating every time I looked up at the screen?
Also, every time he was on the bench, he was like deeply studying his tablet. Like he was clearly just watching.
He said something after the show, after the game, I should say, Craig, that he had like a tell. Yeah. Didn't he? I think he said something in an interview after that.
He jumped a snap so quickly they called him offsides.
That was incredible. That was so cool.
And I think it was Greg Olsen. I forget who was announcing, and he was like, "I don't know, man. I think he actually just like jumped that better than anyone's ever jumped."
So good. It was just like it looked illegal because it was.
Here's what I think happened there. I don't know if anyone. So the nuance of the snap thing is the offense calls it, but the snap begins when the ball is snapped, not when the quarterback says it. The ball is snapped. The offense knows the snap. The defense doesn't. He actually seemed like he, to your point, he actually knew it better than some of the Falcons players on the line, which, to your point, gave it the appearance that he was off. But that, I don't know, that was, anyway, I don't know.
155 yards, fewer than Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Michael
Two-
Penix,
two
good
picks.
pick.
Yeah. But anyway,
Terry
I just think
Fontenot.
Kirk's
Sneaky
not
winner.
mobile. I think, Terry Fontenot.
Well, they
good
did
job.
give Kirk Cousins $100 million.
Well,
Greg.
Well, sunk cost.
got to give it somewhere.
Kirk's
spend,
not mobile
spend it or
enough.
lose it. Is that use it or lose it? Is that how it works?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not exactly, but you know.
Frauds, the Atlanta Falcons. All right.
DK, do you have a fraud?
It was Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
We got him.
He'll get better, hopefully.
I think that it's like Burrow. It's like the mobility,
Yeah.
like Burrow last year. The mobility as it gets better, but until then, holy shit, the Falcons are going to be awful. Okay. The Lucille Bluth, I don't understand the stat line, and I won't respond to an award. I'm just going to steal a tweet from Justice Mosqueda, who tweeted that every quarterback who's ever thrown 42 passes in a game and had 138 yards or less. Jesse Palmer, 40-year-old Ben Roethlisberger, and Bo Nix today.
Yeah, that's not great company.
Unbelievable.
I think the least compelling type of football is teams that throw a lot but just check down. I think that is the most like flaccid form of football. Watching Deshaun Watson and Bo Nix just throw it 1 yard every single play is awful. I hate it. I'd rather watch 3 straight runs.
Greg's disgusted.
I hate it.
It's the worst. Someone, I apologize. I don't know who. Someone tweeted today that Bo Nix was like if Taysom Hill couldn't run or throw. It's unbelievable. DK, do you have any? I don't understand the stat lines.
My Lucille Bluth, I don't understand the stat line, and I won't respond to it. Award is Derek Carr finishing as the QB6. I don't understand it, and I won't respond to it.
It's like that stat last year that it was like CJ Stroud and Derek Carr led the league for the most 300-yard games. It's like, no, that simply can't be right.
I've never once looked in Derek Carr's direction, so therefore,
dude, it's the HR meme where it's like he comes by,
yeah,
like
yeah.
You know, Derek Carr. It's like whoa. Don't you dare.
That's really good, actually. Yeah. 47-10 win over the Panthers.
It's the Panthers.
I choose to ignore it. I choose not to see it.
Derek Carr would have to hold the fucking Lombardi trophy for me to admit he's okay. Nothing short of that. All right. Intrusive thoughts. DK, tell me some of your intrusive thoughts today.
Oh, God. Maybe Caleb Williams just sucks.
You really thought that?
No, but you have that. It's like a creeping feeling in the back of your head where you're like, I was so sure this guy's fucking awesome. And that was like really bad what he was doing today. So I don't actually believe that he'll be really bad. But 14 of 29 for 93 yards.
Yeah, look, I think with most rookie quarterbacks, I don't know, a lot of the time you can kind of just throw out, I don't know, the first half of their season. So there's so many great quarterbacks who had horrific rookie seasons.
Yeah.
And throwing these guys in week one, like you just said, what was that crazy stat about first overall picks not winning their first game since 2002?
Derek Carr, 2002 was the last time.
David Carr.
David Carr.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry,
so it's
my
like,
fucking brain.
You know, I know Brady's whole thing is that these quarterbacks should be sitting a year like Mahomes did and stuff. And maybe he's right, but that's not really the league we play in now. So I kind of think I totally get what you're saying, but it's hard. You almost just like can't. You just got to like check back in week 8.
Yeah, I don't believe that he's going to be bad, but it's like, you know, this is an intrusive thought.
Yeah, it's an intrusive
Just creeping around back there somewhere in the back of my head.
Craig, you have any intrusive thoughts today?
I kind of am just like, Russ doesn't need to come back.
Did you like Fields? Did you think he was good?
Yeah, I thought the second half Fields, things started to open up a little bit. It felt like him and Arthur Smith were starting to develop like an actual rhythm. It was basically like layups and threes. They were just running the ball a lot, going deep to Pickens, and it was actually kind of working. And also the vibes were kind of fun. Pickens and Fields were on the sideline, like hanging out, laughing. I've never seen George Pickens happy before. And just like, I don't know. Maybe we just keep doing this. It's fun to have a mobile quarterback.
The funniest things that happened today literally were like Russell Wilson was named inactive, and then there was all these people tweeting about Russell Wilson like warming up with like full pads on and stuff, like eye black. Apparently he was the emergency third quarterback, so like there's an actual legitimate reason that he was wearing all his pads. But I just like to think that he just wanted to do it for the vibes. He just wanted to go out there, even though he's not going to play. Just wear those pads.
Even
just
if that wasn't true, the fact that we believed it is all you need to know.
Says a lot. Yeah. Russell Wilson's just out there in his full pads. It's the best.
My intrusive thought was when Sam Darnold completed the 10th pass in a row to start the game. I thought JJ McCarthy is never going to play it down for the Vikings.
Oh,
jeez.
Like
they're going to trade McCarthy.
You're saying Darnold gets a new contract. They abandoned McCarthy.
Well, Bannon's he's going to get Trey Lance, where it's going to be like, yeah, we'll transition. And then it's going to be,
trade him for a 6th-round pick. And then he's a 3rd-string quarterback on some team.
I don't believe that, but yeah, I had the thought today. I was like, what if JJ McCarthy just never suits up for this?
That is an interesting thought experiment, Heifetz, too, because it happens to a lot of quarterbacks where it's just like you get lost in the shuffle. This is the first round pick quarterback to miss his entire season to injury, right?
Yeah, and Darnold was drafted higher than JJ McCarthy. Like I know people are like out on Darnold. I can't stress enough. The 2 coaches that started Darnold's career have never coached in the NFL since.
Also, everybody talks about Dave Canales. Dude, Kevin O'Connell, quarterback whisperer.
Yeah.
Totally. This guy can make it work with whoever. This guy's like in the chopped kitchen, just throwing shit together.
Yeah. The other intrusive thought I had was Travis Etienne fumbled at the 1-yard line today, and I thought this will affect the rest of his career.
Uh-oh.
This
is like a DeAndre Swift situation.
The beginning of the Tank Bigsby era because of that fumble.
Him and Tank Bigsby split carries. Bigsby did better. I think Doug Peterson already hated Travis Etienne. I think Doug Peterson hates him. And then Travis Etienne fumbled at the 1-yard line today, and I was like, I feel like Peterson was like going to put up with this shit with Etienne.
Why do you think he hates him?
I think he hates him now.
Just the vibes.
Travis Etienne. I hate to ever put it on a player. Travis Etienne lost him the fucking game. The Dolphins won on a field goal as time expired. Travis Etienne fumbled the ball at the 1-yard line and lost it in the end zone.
It was a really good play by the defender, I will say. But yeah,
it was, but I'm not going to lie. As much as we're like, there are all these levels of football that like you can't ever, understand. All these coaches know more than we'll forget more than we ever know. None of these coaches will ever forget that he did that, and they'll never get over it. And
just
they'll
never
say they
trust
did.
him again.
No,
people don't forget.
People don't forget. People don't forget.
It's like 6th grade.
Why don't you go fumble at the 1 again, Travis?
Dude,
it was like 6 years ago.
People don't forget. Like that's exact. Yeah. Anyway. Oh my God. Post-nut clarity award for how did I not see this coming?
Mine is pretty mellow, but just that like the boring vets on teams who are really good and reliable are also they are going to be good and reliable again the next year. I feel like we all just decided this year we're like Tyler Lockett's bad now. It's over. It's Metcalf and JSN. And then today Lockett was the best receiver on the field. He had 77 yards. JSN and Metcalf didn't do shit. Lockett
had the game-winning catch. Incredible one-hander. Yeah.
Yeah. We just decided we just got bored and we're like, I don't think so. I think it's over.
We always are ready to anoint the next guy.
The second he caught a pass, I was like, yeah. It just looks right. He just caught some third down over the middle, got down smartly, moved the chains, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
He completely mailed in the preseason too. I don't think he practiced.
Yeah, he was hurt.
He was questionable for this game. He was questionable. Craig, for this literally the same concept for me of just like, how do we not see this coming? Vets versus anointing the next generation. Fuck the next generation. Mike Evans, 61 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Dude.
2 touchdowns. Drake London, 2 catches, 15 yards.
Look,
that's post-nut clarity.
If I could tattoo one thing on my body today, it is Mike Evans' name across my fucking chest. And that next year, I don't care how old this fucker is, I'm drafting Mike Evans every year until he retires.
Mike Evans is a first ballot if he played in a different city.
Would
be an icon.
Yes. If Mike Evans was on the Cowboys, he would be an icon.
Imagine Mike Greenberg talking about how New York Jet Mike Evans has never not had 1,000 yards in a season. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he is the most underrated receiver in the league, I think.
He won a Super Bowl in Tampa Bay. Still, no one gives a fuck.
Yep.
My boy Godwin looked pretty good too, by the way.
Yeah, he looked great too. We're
But
so
yeah,
bad.
Evans is awesome.
All right. Burn book.
Do you want
It's
to
hard 'cause it's
describe
week
that
one.
to people who maybe are tuning in for the
Yeah.
first time?
The burn book is people we put. It's like the Mean Girls, and we put people in the book where it's like we're fucking done with you after this week. Like this is it.
No
We wish-
going back.
No going back, and like a little bit, we kind of wish ill upon you. I think a lot of fantasy podcasts are like, we don't hate the player, we hate the ADP. These are players we fucking hate.
Wow.
Well, then my nominee really works.
Okay.
Because it's Deshaun Watson, obviously.
I think
good.
I think he's done. I think we're done with that.
I don't care.
Burn that guy. Yeah,
I-
that's a
yeah.
perfect candidate.
Even like
Yeah.
Njoku's hurt. Amari Cooper did nothing with Deshaun. I'm just like, I don't want anything to do with this. Jerry Jeudy like caught a touchdown, then got hurt. I just don't want to be there.
I think the Browns are in this situation too, Craig.
it's not the
Kevin
burn book, it's the brown book.
It's the Brown book. Kevin Clark tweeted today that Deshaun Watson trade and contract was insane when he was good at football.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like actually the worst quarterback in the NFL now.
He's the worst. They're playing the worst person, the worst player.
Remember how awesome Joe
most
Flacco
money.
was last year?
Yeah.
Do you
They had to
think
get rid of him because people will be clamoring for Joe Flacco after that game today.
Do you think Carolina and Cleveland could just do a swap, Bryce Young for Deshaun? Who
The
says
Panthers
no?
would never do it in a trillion years.
The Browns take some of the money off? Would they do it? No.
I'm not kidding you. They would have to take $100 million to even talk about it.
But then they talk about it.
That's the only one that goes in the book, I feel
It
like.
has to be Deshaun.
No, he's perfect.
He
week
looked
one.
so bad. Like just right out of the gate, looked awful. Just awful.
Just chucking it like 6 people deep on the sideline.
Yeah, it's like
Not even giving your receiver a chance.
You know when they bring out people to shoot half court shots and the guy like one hands it?
You know, there's like the meme of the guy shooting around in a gym where he's just like launching like just bricks off the backboard at like 1,000 miles an hour. That's like Deshaun.
Yeah, he like
passing
you
now.
like what the guy who like it's like he can't shoot it with his 2 hands long, so he has to one arm windmill huck it, and it goes 20 feet over the backboard. That was what Deshaun Watson's
Raindrops.
deep balls. Yeah.
Let it rain.
And then, you know what? That's great too, because the receivers do look like people who are trying to rebound the ball, but it's not going to them. They're just like, oh.
Yeah.
All right. Deshaun Watson, you're in the burn book.
You're in the
It's
book.
about time. All right. Thank you, DK. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, Kai and Carlos, for producing this episode. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Email us at ringerfantasyfootball@gmail.com. Email us trivia for waivers. Tomorrow, Monday, we're going to have Monday night, or Monday afternoon. I don't know when it's going to come out. We're going to have trivia and also just waiver picks for everything. Week 1, it's very important. And honestly, we're actually pretty good at it. So stick with us. We actually we've done a really. We are. We've helped a lot of people win over the years just from like waiver.
Oh, I thought you meant trivia.
Oh, the
terrible
trivia
at
was
not
terrible.
so much. Good
It
at
was
waivers.
so bad.
I mean, I still don't understand how clouds weighed so much.
I thought a cloud weighed 5 pounds.
Dude, Cloud. If you think
You know
Cloud
what?
weighed 5,
I stand by it.
Yeah.
DK, we stand by it.
what was the answer? $1 million?
A billion. It was a billion with a B.
Crazy. They float. What's that? What?
We were
That's
like
crazy.
3.
Anyway, we don't know shit about clouds, but you know,
Yeah.
we told you to pick up Kyron Williams. So, all right. I think, yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for help behind the scenes. Thank you, Kiera. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, everybody, for listening. It's gonna be a fun season. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, MGMT.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Nice.
They're great. To be honest, I haven't listened to like a lot of their songs, but the few that are very popular, I think are fantastic.
All bangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Electric Field, Time to Pretend. What's the other one? Kids? Or is that the name of the album? I forget.
I do not know.
Yeah.
Are they
bangers.
having a little resurgence on TikTok? Like the Zoomers are like,
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I remember there was did you guys see that
Kids
movie?
is a song. Yeah.
Yeah. That movie Saltburn with Jacob Elordi. There was a big like montage with I think it was Time to Pretend, and it ripped.
Saltburn also had the Murder on the Dance Floor ending.
Yeah.
And that's been in the rotation.
I had never even heard of that song until that movie.
I had never. It sounds older than it is. You hear that song, you're like, this is from the 80s.
Yeah, and it was 2001. I thought the exact same
weird.
thing. Yeah.
It's
I was like, oh,
it's such a mind fuck.
Yeah. Good one, DK. I feel like that was a great choice.
Sweet. Thanks. Appreciate that.
A+.
I just realized that's for management.
Is it? No. Is it?
It's not. What is it?
Well, that's what
I know that
like
is
the
an
shortened
abbreviation
version of it. Yeah.
But I don't. Is the band named after the word management?
I
Let's
think
look
it
it
is,
up.
and I just kind of realized it.
Oh.
I never thought of that till just now.
The band name MGMT is pronounced as the individual letters MGMT and is not an abbreviation for management.
Oh wow. What is it
Wait,
for then?
Well, that was what Gemini told me. Those
this
rat
is
bastards.
this is what it says on Wikipedia.
So-
It says the band formed under the name The Management and released 2 demo albums.
Gemini told
What
you
the
it's
fuck
not.
is going on with Google Gemini?
Dude, how did they release that shit? That stuff is it's
I
so
really have
bad.
to stop reading that.
It says the name was already being used by another band, so they later changed it to MGMT, which is this is like the best word I've ever seen. A disembowelment, not a disembowelment, a disembowelment of
That's
the
a-
word.
So Gemini does go on to say that the original name was the management, but still the first sentence, it's just, I hate it so much.
You can't trust anything anymore.
It's so bad.
It is.
Email. I'll take a trivia question about Google Gemini or anything like that. You got any AI trivia? We'll take some of this.
Wow, they're from
All right.
Middletown, Connecticut. I don't know if I would have guessed that.
It would have been crazy if you did.
What do you know about Middletown, Connecticut?
I don't know. That's not some like.
Oh,
You're not familiar with their music scene?
funnily enough, about Middletown, Connecticut.
I don't think
you know
about
that.
like psychedelic pop from Connecticut. That's not what I.
You know
where my head
something about
goes.
Middletown, Connecticut? That's
What?
where they invented field turf.
Like, shut the fuck up.
That's
How do
where
you
they
know
invented
that?
Field turf.
How do you know that?
It's not true.
No, I made it up.
Oh.
No,
I think that. Wait, Google Gemini just said that. That's correct.
it's Google Gemini says it's middle. Yeah. All right. Goodbye, everyone.